My religious mom wants to force me to use a chastity belt. Please send help. I'm 15. My family is deeply religious. I respect that, but sometimes, I'm 15, and I have to, rub one out. I try not to, but I can't concentrate on anything else if I don't. And if I see a pretty girl, it'll get worse. It basically feels like sleeping to me. If I don't do it, I can't function. I don't know if I'm normal or not. I'm definitely ashamed of it. But I'm not lying, I promise. My mom doesn't believe me. My dad is out of the picture, so I can't talk to him and ask him if this is a guy thing. Anyway, my mom has tried a lot of things to get me to stop. She took my door off, for example. She grounded me and stuff. I try to hide it so she gives up, but now she's decided to get some kind of device and put it on me so that I can't touch myself. She seemed serious, and it wouldn't be out of character for her. She also does other weird things, like on Fridays we can't eat at all because of Jesus. I try to respect that, but oftentimes I go out on a bike ride and get food somewhere. I get hungry. What I want to know is, can I refuse to wear her device? I pretty much know I will lose my phone. She'll probably sell it so I can't get it back, and stuff if I refuse, but I personally think that going a while without my phone is kinda fine. I want my grades to stay okay so that I can get into college and have some control over myself, and I can't do that if I'm constantly hot and bothered by every girl I see because, well. So yeah, this is kinda embarrassing. I hope I don't need to share my personal information with anyone here. I live in Ohio and go to a private school. My school is a real Catholic school. Not run by people from my mom's religion. I have 7 siblings, 2 brothers and 5 sisters. I don't know who our dad is. There are multiple people in our church involved. Also, there's some ceremonial burn, a religious, I don't know what you call it, burn or something that my mother performed on us. One of my brothers has it too, my other doesn't yet. She used to do other stuff, but she stopped mostly. We're not allowed to go to the doctor for religious reasons. My younger brother, who is 13, broke his arm last year and had to go, and he got in trouble for it. Update 1. I got my 13-year-old brother after school yesterday and we went to see my math teacher. I didn't tell him all the details, but I told him my mother wanted to put a device on me to keep me from having intimacy, and my brother and I showed him the healed burn marks that my mom made, like you guys suggested. At first he wanted to call our mom, but that actually made my brother cry in fear, so he didn't, because I told him I'd run away and call the police if he did. He called a bunch of people, and about an hour later the police and a bunch of other people showed up. Apparently they'd already been suspicious about our neighborhood. They talked to us away from each other, and I had to tell several people what happened. There was one lady who I told everything real specific. She was very nice and didn't make me feel ashamed at all. We went back home with them and I showed the police where my mother kept drugs that I'm pretty sure were illegal. She wasn't there, but all my other 6 siblings who are homeschooled were. Then they went down the street to where my mom and our preacher were, and I don't know what happened, but they arrested her, I think for drugs and other stuff, and someone else whose house they were at, because they were doing drugs. That's what they usually do, but not the preacher. I think they're gonna look into it though. There were a bunch of people and police who talked to all of us more, and eventually they took us to a place where they said we'd stay for now. Like a shelter or something. I should have done this years ago. I feel really bad because I could have had my siblings taken better care of. I don't really know what's happening or gonna happen, but the place I'm in now is way cleaner than I'm used to, and we have clothes and stuff and food, and we don't have to watch toddlers anymore. They weren't happy when they figured out stuff like the burns and that my 11 and 10-year-old sisters can't read at all. They also weren't very happy with our house, I could tell. I hope we don't have to go back. Update 2. I've gotten a lot of messages from people offering everything from adoption to food to asking for updates, so I thought I would tell you guys what ended up happening. My mother was charged with several things and is in jail, but I don't think they actually put her in for the crimes yet. She's waiting on the police to get evidence, I think. As many of you guys thought, the only people in my family allowed school was my brother and me. My second brother was 2, so I don't know if she would have let them put him in school. My sisters had to stay home. This wasn't weird to me because it was an all-boys school. They said I will never go back to my mom again, and my siblings won't either. They also said what we were in was a cult. We were all in one big apartment building kind of thing. They said they weren't sure the cult itself was illegal. Just that some of the other stuff happening was drugs, and that some of the stuff was probably SA, but I can't talk about it very much. Multiple people are in jail for it. Lots of people left, and I think they're looking closely at the pastor. I don't know if all 8 of us will stay together, but we are safe now. It's weird, but in a good way. Update 3. Our neighborhood and apartment building, where a lot of people from our religious lived, was sort of taken over by the police in the past few months. Many people were arrested for drugs and dealing stuff that I don't know about at all, really. A lot of it was mostly kept out of the news because it is messy. All 7 of my siblings and I are not all together anymore. I cried a lot, I think, but it is probably better because some of us needed a lot of help. My preacher was the father of many children in our religion, including my brother and me and one of my sisters. He is in jail like my mother, and I don't think that I will ever have to see him. I don't think I want to. I am kind of sad because I was hoping secretly that I had a father out there, but he is like my mother, so I don't. I suppose I kind of always knew this, but I didn't want it to be the truth.